What's up, YouTube? And we're back. This is Daryl D TV, and I'm back with another tag video. I never even heard of these tag videos until recently, and this is my third one. Apparently, it's a pretty popular thing here on YouTube, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So, this latest tag that I'm going to be doing is a soul tag. And the brother djvinylvertigo is the brother that started this whole thing. So, of course, when I saw soul in the title, I was all about it. So, let's just get right into it. Uh, Vinyl Vertigo came up with 20 questions that I have over here to the side. So I'll be referencing those. And we're just going to dive into this whole soul music thing and see what's happening. All right. So let's get started. So the first question is, name the most listened to soul album. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's the most listened to this week, this month, this year. I don't know. So I just decided to grab just one of the albums that I have listened to probably a few hundred times over the years. This is one of my most played soul albums in my collection. It's one of my favorites. It's a beautiful record. This is Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, and this is their greatest hits. And man, there's never been two more beautiful voices together at the same time. And this is a very emotional record. Um, I usually don't have a lot of greatest hits type albums, but when I do have them, it's such a pleasure to listen to all of my favorite songs by that artist all on one record. And this is one of those records. I just put this on and just kind of zone out. And as you can see, it looks like it's been well played. But man, oh man, I mean, you guys know the songs You're Precious Love and Ain't No Mountain High Enough, You're All I Need to Get By. You guys know the hits. So you can see why this would be one of my favorite and most listened to albums in my collection. Let's keep it moving. Question number 2 is, what's my most recent purchase for as far as a soul album is concerned? My most recent soul album purchase. Well, that would be Lady Ray. I did mention this album in another video actually, but Lady Ray was she came out back in the 90s, and she did a lot of like club music. Her actual name is Nicole Ray, but she went on to do she started doing these soul albums as of late. And matter of fact, this is Big Crown Records. If anybody's familiar with Big Crown Records, they do a lot of soul and funk titles and bands and artists. And so when I tell you the transition from like R&B club music to this soul music, this is a beautiful record. I highly recommend it. Lady Ray. Question number 3 is just says, show a male soul artist. When I saw that question, I automatically thought of one of my favorite, if not my favorite, male soul artists of all time, and that is Mr. Luther Vandross. This album is called The Night I Fell in Love. I wanted to show this record because I actually bought this record while I was in high school. And it had been out a few years by then. But I think I had won like some type of gift certificate. And and I went to the mall, and I bought this record, and I bought the Schoolie D, Schoolie D's first album. Um, but yeah, this has been in my collection since the mid '80s, and I think Luther Vandross is probably, man, he might be the greatest. He might be the greatest soul male artist out there. Got to see him in concert, a handful of times back in the past. I really missed his brother. Great album, male soul artist. Question number 4 is show a Stax release. The Stax release I want to show you is the Untouched album by The Emotions. Now, interesting story behind this record. I was at a local record store several years ago, and they had just gotten a big, huge soul, funk, and jazz record collection in there. And they were all $1.99 a piece. And I was grabbing all kinds of, just some incredible stuff. Headhunters and what's that sister's name? I grabbed the Soul album, the Ramp album, some, just all kinds of stuff. $1.99 all day. I bought a stack that was like this much, and they had it in crates, and I just filled up a whole crate. They said, just keep the crate, man. We don't have a bag or a box. I must have hit that place like 3 times. But anyway, I had this in my hand. Now, I wasn't familiar with this record. I'm familiar, obviously, with The Emotions, but I wasn't familiar with this record. I had a lot of records, and I thought I better put some of these back. So I actually put this record back. And then I picked it up and I flipped it over, and I saw, the little Stax sign there. And I thought, this is a Stax record. I better pick this up. And, of course, it's got the Blind Alley song on there, which was pretty popular back in the day. I didn't even know it was on there until I was actually playing it. But I'm glad that I picked it back up and brought it home, because I don't know what this record goes for now, but back then it was like a $40, $50 record. And I got it for $2. Gotta love that. So yeah, that was question number 4. Question number 5. Name a soul artist that's not from America. Now, there was a couple that came to mind right away, but I could not find them. So of course, later I'm going to tear this place apart looking for those records. I'm not even going to mention who they were, because I would have rather shown you. So I had to grab the closest thing to a soul album from someone who's not from the U.S. One of my favorite singers. I kind of consider this to be soul, or at least a lot of her material, and that's Amy Winehouse. This is the Back is Black album. A lot of great songs on here. You guys know the deal with Amy. Gone too soon, but she made some great music. Very, very soulful voice. She did some great stuff. Rest in peace to Amy Winehouse. So, next question is, show a female soul artist. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 2 female soul artists. I'm going to show you my 2 favorite female soul artists of all time. Starting with the beautiful, sexy Miss Stephanie Mills. I absolutely love this woman and everything about her. Beautiful voice. Just an incredible, incredible person. I finally got to see her live last year. She was on my bucket list. She was in town. It was a beautiful experience. Miss Stephanie Mills, I love you. And coming in at a very, very close second is another one of my favorite This is probably number two, if not like a close number one. The beautiful Miss Tina Marie. Another one gone way too soon. Um, I I sort of never got to see Tina live. However, I do have a ticket stub and a flyer for a concert I went to back in the 90s. And Tina was on that bill, but for the life of me, I cannot remember her being there. I can't remember anything about that performance. She was performing with the Gap Band, the Barkays, and Evelyn Champagne King. And I don't remember anybody not showing up. I remember everybody else, but for the life of me, I can't remember, the Tina Marie performance. So I'm just assuming that she did cancel or something came up and she wasn't there. If she was, I just can't remember. Anyway, gone too soon. Just a great voice. Great voice. Rest in peace, Miss Tina Marie. All right, next question number 7. Show a gospel album or single by a soul artist. Okay, immediately I thought of Mr. Al Green and the Soul Survivor album. Now, this album has a song on it called Everything's Gonna Be Alright. And it's a song about Jesus Christ. And Al Green talks about, don't worry, he's coming back. He's gonna do everything that he said he was gonna do. I know that everything's gonna be alright. He's coming back for the true and good. This song, I first saw the video. There's a video for this song, and they used to play this on Video Soul on BT back in the 80s when this song was released. And that's when I first heard it, and I love the song immediately. I have the 12-inch single for this song. I can listen to this song 20 times in a row, no problem, before I even start to get tired of hearing it. It's a great song, and it became a very popular hit and a radio hit. So this gospel song was actually on commercial radio back in the 80s when it came out. Interesting fact, because you don't see a lot of gospel songs really go outside of the gospel stations, at least back then. But yeah, beautiful song. So off the Soul Survivor album, Al Green, Everything's Gonna Be Alright. Okay, question number 8. Blue-eyed soul artist. Okay, I'm assuming by blue-eyed they mean a white person, a white soul artist. So, excuse me, I decided to pull out Mr. Bobby Caldwell. Remember when we all thought this guy was black back in the day? And there's probably a reason why they didn't really show who he really was on that album. Because he got a lot of play on the black radio stations. And he sold a lot of records to us. And see, they didn't even put his picture on the back there. So sort of like what they did with Tina Marie's first album. Same thing. But, we all know Bobby Caldwell's What You Won't Do for Love. And you know what's interesting? When I pulled this out, I was looking at it, and my copy is actually on gold vinyl. Very, very rare and very expensive if you can find a copy like this. So, hopefully I got that right in thinking blue-eyed soul artist meant a white soul artist. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. All right, question number, what are we on, 9? A soul artist that more people should be aware of. Let me tell you, this record right here, a band called We. They are out of Columbus, Ohio. And let me tell you, this is some of the best soul. I cannot stop spinning this record. Um, to me, they sound like a young DeBarge. Remember DeBarge? They sound like a young version of DeBarge. And this whole album is just nonstop. Just this beautiful sounding sweet soul. Um, you Can Fly on My Airplane is the name of the album. This is actually a reissue. It's been reissued 2 or 3 times over the years, but the original record came out in 1977, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Great album. If you can grab the reissue, grab it. If you grab an original, you're gonna be paying like a zillion bucks for it. But man, I recommend this. Check out some of their songs on YouTube and see if you agree that they sound like a young DeBarge. Great album. I'm so glad I picked it up. Somebody recommended it to me. I bought this and didn't know anything about it. Um, and back then when this came out, this reissue, I believe it was 2008, I was buying like any new soul that I could get my hands on. And this was one of those records. All right, we are at number 10. A soul artist featured on a rock album. When I saw that question, or that, you know, yeah, that question, I immediately thought of Mary Clayton. I have 2 of her albums. This one is called Give Me Shelter. Mary Clayton. And here's the thing about Mary Clayton. I didn't even know that she was on any rock albums. I just assume because she's got such a powerful type voice. And I wrote some notes down here. I looked her up because I just thought, man, I bet she's been on some rock albums. You know how you just had that feeling about some people? And it turns out she's either done songs with or done backup singing with Neil Young, Mick Jagger, Leonard Skinner, Tom Jones, Joe Cocker, Carole King, to name a few. So yeah, if there was anybody that was a soul artist who did some legit rock music or was, excuse me, played with some rock bands or whatever, this is her. Mary Clayton. Okay, number 11, show a Motown release. I'm not just going to show you a Motown release. I'm going to show you the baddest brother that was ever on the Motown label. The baddest dude ever on Motown. Who could I be talking about? None other than the king of punk funk, Mr. Rick James. Now, I probably could have pulled out any of his Motown albums. Street Songs being one of them, which was his biggest album. I remember when that came out. This, Throwing Down, came out after Street Songs, and I love this one even better than Street Songs. There's not a bad song on this entire album. Another song you can play start to finish, no skips. I think this is Rick James' baddest record. We all know the story of Rick James. He was super bad in his time, and this is definitely my favorite Rick James album, the Throwing Down album. And check out that cover. Next one, show an artist that is deserving of a box set. Okay. Now, I don't usually buy a lot of box sets. I have maybe one that I can think of that I've actually bought ever. One, maybe 2. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I've actually bought a handful of box sets. But let me just show you because I can show you better than I can tell you. Tell me if you think this person is deserving of a box set. I'm just going to show you a bunch of this artist's albums. If there was anyone deserving of a box set, it's Mr. Curtis Mayfield. Let's keep going. Question number 13. A soul act seen in concert. Okay, this is one of the greatest R&B soul bands on the planet, and I've seen them probably at least a handful of times over the years. And so I'm not only showing you a record from someone I've seen in concert, but I'm going to show you one of their concert records. And there you go right there. Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. This was live in New Orleans. I think this came out in 1977. No, I didn't go to this show. But, man, I love Maze and Frankie Beverly. Every time I see them, it's just like a big old giant, you know, house party with all of your family members. You know, like they used to do back in the 70s, where you would just invite all your neighborhood people over to your house, and you put a bunch of 45s on the automatic record player and let them drop and play back to back to back to back. Man, every chance I get to see Maze and Frankie Beverly, you know, I take it. And I hope I get to see him again real soon. I've seen him at least 5 times over the years. And Frankie Beverly, he's getting up there in age. I think he's in his early 80s now. But they're still touring strong. They're touring right now as we speak. And I hope they come my way. All right. Question number 14. Show a jazz record by a soul artist. Well, check this out. I'm going to show you Madhouse. And for those that don't know, Madhouse is Prince and Eric Leeds, who played saxophone with Prince for many, many years. This is their jazz / funk project. And they called it Madhouse. And it's all instrumental jazz. They did 2 albums, number 8 and number 16. And yes, Prince is a soul artist. Okay? Next to like Luther Vandross and Rick James, I think Prince has the best slow songs, the best slow soul songs, and of course, he's an incredible R&B artist. I know some of y'all walking around trying to say he's a rock artist. Yeah, in your dreams. So here we have Madhouse, both albums, instrumental, funky jazz by Prince and Eric Leeds. Next up, it says 15. a soul artist in a group recording and in a solo recording? Well, I right away thought of Miss Minnie Riperton, the beautiful Minnie Riperton. This is one of her solo albums. What was this one? Love Lives Forever. I have many, many Riperton albums, and some of you guys probably didn't know that she played in a psych rock group called Rotary Connection. And she actually was in this group before she was a solo artist. So I believe they did a handful of albums, maybe 4 or 5 albums, to all of which I own actually. But yeah, her beautiful voice along with this older 70s psych rock type of stuff. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting stuff to say the least. But yes, the beautiful Miss Minnie Riperton, and you can see her down there. Where's she? Right here. Let's get a closer look at that. Rotary Connection. Ever heard of that? And then, just as an honorable mention, I wanted to show you the beautiful In Vogue. And this woman right here, I hope I'm pointing to the right one. Yes. This sister right here is Miss Terry Ellis, who came out with a solo album. And here's a single from that solo album. And it's called Wherever You Are. There's Gerald Levert on one side and Terry Ellis. Beautiful soul song. Beautiful, slow, mellow song. If you haven't heard it, check it out. She did a whole album, and when you hear it, you'll definitely say to yourself, "Oh yeah, that's the chick from In Vogue." So yeah, that's just a little honorable mention. Terry Ellis and Minnie Riperton. Question number 16. Favorite soul song? Well, that's obviously impossible to say what my favorite soul song is. But what I will show you is a couple of my favorite songs that I play over and over and over and over again. This first one is a single by Johnny Gill, and the name of the song is called Quiet Time to Play. This was from Johnny's third album, if I'm not mistaken. It's a slow song, another slow song. And the reason why I love this single so much is because this is actually a live version, live in concert. And it's 12 minutes and 36 seconds long. So, one of my favorite slow songs, live version and long version. So, in addition to that, I also wanted to show you this is one of my favorite songs of all time. We going back to Mr. Rick James, and this was a 12-inch record store day release several years ago. You and I, but the B-side of this record is Fire and Desire. So, Rick James, Tina Marie, one of the greatest slow songs in soul history, and it's a live version. And this one is just shy of 20 minutes long. You gotta love that. I love live recordings. I love concerts. So this was right up my alley. So here's two of my favorite songs, soul songs of all time. Rick James, Tina Marie, Fire and Desire, and Johnny Gill, Quiet Time to Play. Our next question is, show a reggae soul artist release. Now, I thought of my probably one of my favorite songs, reggae songs of all times. I consider it to be a soul song, and it's another live version. We got Bob Marley and the Wailers live in concert. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this, but they do a live version of No Woman, No Cry on here. That is just incredible. Might be probably in my top three favorite Bob Marley songs of all time. And the live version, there's just nothing like it. The crowd kind of starts singing, the hook before he even starts singing at all. It's a great version. But this album sold a lot of copies, so a lot of you guys might already be familiar with it. So yeah, I consider this to be a soul song, slow jam song, and just a beautiful message. Um, no woman, no cry. Ain't that the truth? All right, we're getting down towards the end of our list. We got two more questions left. Uh, let's see. We are at number 18. Show a live in concert soul recording. I immediately thought about Miss Erykah Badu, and this is a promo copy of her live in concert album. You have to be pretty incredible. You've got to have an incredible sound and an incredible voice and incredible songs for your second album to be a live version of your first album. How many people can you say have done that? That's a good question for a tag. Is show an artist or a group where their second album was a live album. There's a few of them out there that I can think of right off the top of my head. But this was definitely one of them. Her second album, live in concert, Miss Erykah Badu. I never get sick of hearing this record. Question number 19. Show a soul compilation release. This is a compilation called Celestial Soul. I remember finding this. Look at that beautiful sister. I remember finding this at a record store probably in the early 2000s. And it's got some soul and some funk artists on here. There's Chocolate Milk, Simone, James Brown, I don't even, Lecrae, Funk Factory, Sylvia Striplin, Al Hurt, and Don Julian and the Larks. Um, a lot of these songs are soul, and then some of them are kind of funky, if you will. But yeah, I don't have a lot of soul compilations in my collection. This is one of the few that's just strictly soul or like just strictly R&B or whatever. Most of the compilations I have that feature soul albums also feature like some rap stuff too. And this one, even this one is just like it's mostly soul, but it's not completely soul. But this is my soul compilation I want to show you. And question number 20, the last question is, what is your favorite soul channel in the vinyl community? I don't have one. I'm not even aware of any soul channels in the vinyl community. I would love to check some out. So here's where I need your help. If you guys know of any soul channels on YouTube that I need to check out, let me know. I would love to check them out, and I'm always down to hear some cool stuff about soul music. Um, my favorite genre of music ever. So that's it. DJ Vinyl Vertigo. Thanks for the tag. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, like I said, these tags are pretty fun to do. Um, check out, I did a comic book tag, and I also did a end of the year vinyl tag. So check those out if you will. All right, that's all I got, man. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching Daryl DTV, and you guys stay safe. Peace and love.